Welcome back to Culture Shock, a series about what it means to truly be an immigrant and an American. I'm Gayatri Sundarajan. In our first piece, we learned about Michael Armanius' childhood and his choice to stay in the United States, even after experiencing culture shock. Now let's talk about his desire to share his newfound knowledge with his fellow Egyptians. In addition to gaining a new perspective on education in the United States, Michael learned about and grew proud of his heritage. Specifically, Michael grew fond of the culture of innovation and learning that had once been present in Egypt within the Library of Alexandria.
I left Egypt without knowing too much about my own heritage. Coming to the state, I started learning about my own heritage and how much the ancient civilization or the ancient Egyptian contributed to humanity. And I wanted to know more about it, to know that 2,000 years ago, a young lady in the Library of Alexandria invented a device to study the star. That was an eye-opener for me. So I was interested in the culture that was created in the Library of Alexandria 2,000 years ago.
He decided to share his love of Egypt, history, education, and technology by creating videos.
Around 2008, I discovered ACMi. I learned how to make videos, how to edit videos.
You got interested in online education at some point in between. What caused that interest?
One day I received an email from the ACMi studio manager, Jeff, and he said, here is an invitation to attend an event about online education in UMass.
This event was hosted by Mr. Anant Agarwal, the founder and CEO of edX. With his new title of video producer, Michael decided to ask Mr. Agarwal for an interview.
And I was shocked. He said yes. We went to his office and I asked him a bunch of questions and he gave me a lot of good answers about the concept and the philosophy behind the online education. And then I asked him a question, what about doing something with Egypt? And he said, absolutely, but I don't know anybody in Egypt. So, do you know anybody? So now he's asking me to help him to find someone in Egypt to work with.
And who did you contact, or who did you think of?
I remember the same guy who inspired me to stay in the States, the Apollo scientist, the NASA scientist. So I wrote him an email, attached the video, and then a few minutes later he responded. He said yes. And he said, soon you're going to hear from the director of the Library of Alexandria.
Not only did Michael get an interview from Mr. Agarwal, but he got an avenue to spread education to Egypt. Dr. Farouk Elbez, like Michael, believed that online education would empower the people of Egypt.
And naturally, e-education is a new thing, and it can be a fabulous thing, because in Egypt there is not enough schools, there are not enough teachers, not enough material, not enough books, you name it. And if we can find the mechanism to convey knowledge or courses or topics to people at all kinds of levels, at all kinds of ages, through a mechanism like an iPhone or a computer, it's a fabulous thing. Or to convey to them, to those who can read, information about what's happening in the world. It's a fabulous thing. They don't have to read what the local government newspaper tells them.
Dr. Elbez connected Michael to Dr. Ismail Siraj-Gildeen, the director of the Library of Alexandria, and Dr. Azza Il-Khuli, the director of the academic research sector at the Library of Alexandria. With their help, the Library of Alexandria began creating courses for the edX platform.
But the most important thing I would like to mention here in relation to edX is the fact that we've been pushing the edX people to add the Arabic platform, because this is really our main concern, to be able to put a lot of material and a lot of courses in the Arabic language for the people of Egypt who do not speak English, who cannot understand a Harvard X course or an MIT X course, but they can learn the same things in the Arabic language. And I'm happy to say that finally we have the Arabic platform, and we will start working on putting on more courses for the people in Egypt and in the region, particularly those who may be like Michael in his childhood, who do not have access to information or to knowledge.
What do you think was one of the biggest misconceptions that you're debunking in the process, whether it's by content or by just the process of creating these videos?
We wanted people to know that the ancient Egyptian civilization, for example, is something that is interesting, but that modern Egyptians are also, people who can compete in this world if given the chance. And I think that was the challenge. And I hope, that we succeeded at least in, bringing this to the forefront.
Dr. Azza Ilkouli's message was clear. edX courses are important, but a positive view of Egypt in the eyes of the world and its own people is invaluable.
I saw the intellectual side of Egypt in Dr. Sirajuddin and Az, an intellectual side that I did not see before. I discovered from talking with them that Library of Alexandria was not just a library that with millions of books, and no, it was much more than a library. Discovering an entity, an Egyptian entity that still can compete in the outside world, they made me proud to be an Egyptian.
Unlike many immigrants, Michael Armanius wanted to be true to his title of Egyptian American. He worked to build bridges between the Egyptians and Americans through the edX platform in order to transfer knowledge and mutual appreciation between the two cultures. Stay with us to see how Michael's new perspective on education shaped his view of Egypt. I'm Gayatri Sundarajan, and thank you so much for joining me.